where the outside of the bone would be. On which side of my screen is the very outside that you would touch on a bone?
7.
Okay, good, 7. What do you call the layer on the outside of a bone?
Compact bone.
Well, that's the type of bone. This is compact, but just that outer layer. Periosteum. Peri, perimeter, around the osteobone. So I'm going around the bone in number 7. Periosteum is the very outside thing you touch. Go to KFC, look at the drumstick. That's where you're at. Compact bone is the type of bone. This bone is tight, so it's compact bone. What kind of bone would be in here where it's less tight?
Spongy.
Spongy. It looks like a sponge. So compact looks like the tree trunks. Spongy looks like a sponge. But the outside edge is periosteum. Yes?
Or is the compact bone and spongy bone two different bones?
They're two different styles of bone. They're still bone, but they're two different types of way you build a bone.
Would it like be in one bone?
All bones would have a mixture though.
Oh, okay.
All skeletal. So the difference is the proportions
Gotcha.
and where in your body they're at. But all bones have a compact part and a spongy part.
Okay.
It varies by how they look, but they're right. So what do you call, number 1, this white edge just to the inside of the spongy? This is what's this one? Endosteum, endo, inside of. So I'm outside the bone at 7, I'm inside the bone at 1. Compact is everything in yellow, spongy is everything kind of over here. So there's 2 different levels of the question. Where are you in the bone, and what kind of bone is it? So compact bone here, periosteum there, endosteum there, spongy bone there, yes.
So the one separates bone from cartilage?
If you know cartilage, that's the medullary cavity, that's marrow. So your marrow's in here.
Okay.
Your cartilage will be at the ends of your bone. So there's no end here. They'd be up and down screen. They're just layers of a bone.
Gotcha.
So you buy a doggy bone at Petco, that's what the layers your dog is biting. Okay, let's name some stuff. What do you call, number 4, the circular part of a bone? Osteon, also called, there's other words like Haversian system, but those are, the circles of the trees are osteons, because osteo means bone. Circles, yeah, those are osteons. Good, now let's do the layers of the bones. The circles have layers, you're supposed to name them. What do you call the layers that make up the circle? Concentric lamella, concentric, with a circle. With circles, lamella means layer. So with the circle, all the layers are the layers of the tree. Each ring of a tree is a lamella, and this concentric. So osteon is the whole tree. Concentric lamella is each ring of the tree. Make sense? Okay, so if those are concentric, what do you think we're going to call these ones that are only around the whole forest, not a tree? Those go around the entire bone. Circumferential, circumference, the whole circle. These are circumferential lamella, because they're the layers on the whole forest, not in the osteon. So with a circle, concentric, each tree, circumferential lamella around the entire bone. Your model doesn't have it because only one, that one does. Okay, so we got one more. If I look carefully with my little eye, there's layers between the trees. So not over the forest, not in the tree, but between the trees. How would you say that? Interstitial. Inter means between. So interstitial lamella will be between the trees. Concentric is the tree. Circumferential is the forest.
So it's the one that doesn't make a whole circle?
Doesn't want to make a circle, it's just between the circles. So interstitial is a biology word you're going to hear all the time, means between something. Interstate highway, right, between the states. So when you're looking at that model, you're going to have to orient, is it part of the tree, is it part of the bone, is it between trees? They're all lamella, but they're different names depending which lamella you're at. I don't have a picture of it looking down, right? But I do have, is this one? Nope, that's that one. This one? Nope, I don't have this one. I thought I had one of it looking down, I guess I don't. All right, darn. All right, let's do another one. What do you call number 2? Perforating canal or perforating artery. Bones are alive. So this artery goes into the forest. You penetrate or perforate the forest. So that artery is going into the trees to feed them. What would you call the red thing going down the middle of the tree?
Central?
The central canal. So it's down the center of the tree is an artery. That's the central canal that it lives in. The artery is called the central artery. So there's arteries and canals going up and down the trees, central. There's arteries and canals going sideways, which are perforating. Sharpie's fibers are the white lines holding the outside onto the forest. These are Sharpies.
Perforated canal
Is the hole or the blood vessel.
And
So a
then-
Sharpie fiber is number 6. The perforating canal would be number 2. Same direction, but different thing. This is like sewing it on, but this is a hole through the bone. So you have centrals and perforating.
Oh, this one.
Are you with a tree or going through the trees?
Going through the trees.
So take a walk in the forest, all those directions you could be, change how you are. If you're going up and down the tree, you're central. Or across the trees, you're perforating.
Is that Havers?
Haversian canal is another way for central canal.
Okay.
So number 4 would be the Haversian canal or central canal, because it's a Haversian system. Perforating or Volkmann's canal is the sideways one. But you name, are you going between trees or with the tree? Make sense? So a lot of words there, but if you do some basic geometry, it helps. You know, circle versus high, across, or up. Okay, so give me a second. Now we're going to zoom in on that model. Give me just a second here. Gotta find it. I know I have it on here somewhere.
Is it beans? I'm gonna guess.
Right. Let's do this one here.
So I realized.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the little model looking down. I got cheesy here. So this is one. What's this one of? This is one osteon, one tree, right? One osteon, not a whole bone. Let's see. What did you call this center area here?
The central canal?
Central canal or Haversian canal. That's where the blood vessels go up and down the tree. All right. What did you call these rings that made the circle?
Concentric.
Concentric lamellae or lamella. Okay. These are going between 2 different trees. Those must be interstitial because they're not the circle. They're between the circles. All right. Now we got to name something else. What would you call the cells? These are cells that are part of the osteon. The osteo word, osteocyte, osteoblast, that means bone cell. So these are osteocytes, bone cells, because they make up the bone.
Oh, and they're in
So lamella are the rings, the cells are the cells. What do you call this little space the cell would live in? There's an L. Lacuna, like a cartilage. You just don't see it on the slide, but the bone cells have a lagoon or halo that they live in. So osteocytes live in lacuna, in the lamella, in the osteon, Petrushka. Right? So on this model, you see one tree, you see 2 different kinds of lamella, and a cell in the space the cell would be in. Is there a canaliculus word on your list? Yeah, so canaliculus means little canal or little connection between cells. Can anyone spot where those would be? Where do I see little connections between cells? The little red line. So this cell is trying to talk to its neighbor, and those are called little canals, little canaliculi. Means baby canal. So the cell is osteocyte. The little arms are called canaliculi. The place the cell lives is lacuna. And the ring it lives in is lamella.
And this is looking
Straight down in one tree.
down on a bone.
Right, so if you took one of those circles on that big model, it's one of the trees. So you would not see periosteum or any of those because they're the whole forest, not a single tree. Right. So on this one, the words are the same between the models, but the big model has more layers that have to go with it because you have a whole bone, not just a single osteon. You're good on bone osteoids? All right, so get your geometry right. It sort of makes some sense. Now I'm going to show you a slide of that because I'm an evil bastard. All right. The little one that just has the single circles. There's one back over there too. Yeah. So the canaliculi you can see on the little one. On the big model, we painted it on if they were. You can see the little black hatch marks. You see they're on there. They're not as clear as the big painted one. So we'll learn those in lecture. Blast means to build a bone. They're the young cells. Class means to destroy a cell. They're the old cells. And site means your cell. So we'll learn those in lecture. Blast, build, class, destroy. Sites do neither. So they're all bone cells in the same place.
Oh,
They just have different jobs. So if your just job is to create, you blast. Your job is to destroy, you clast.
would we be able to identify it on a microscope?
No,
What
not.
type- what
You can
type?
tell the bone cell, but not which job it has.
Oh, okay.
Let's try this one here. Okay. What's this a slide of? Boom, good. Start with this one. Okay. I spy with my little eye a big that thing there. That is a osteon. Very good. I spy with my little eye this dark thing in the center.
The central canal.
Central canal, reversing canal, pick a word. Okay. Tell me what these black things with little legs are. Osteocytes with the canaliculi. So on this slide, they look like the little black coloration, but these are the cells because they have the little canals going on. Okay, what's that layer the cells are in? Concentric lamella. That's the ring they live in. So the cells are the black dots. The rings are the layers they live in. All right, let's see if I can spot
Yeah,
something.
and then it would be.
Ooh, I
And
can.
the osteocytes in there, and then the.
What kind of lamella are this one? Interstitial. This is concentric here. That one is part of one you can't see, but we'll call those interstitial. Concentric is always the circles. Interstitial is between the circles. So anywhere you see a broken circle or in between, my screen's better. But those are interstitials. They're not part of the ring. Very good. Let's zoom in on one ring. Boom. Okay, I spy with my little eye.
There we go.
Osteocyte, because lacuna would be a space, the space wouldn't have legs. So on the slide, you always see the cells. Lacuna would be the same location, but lacuna is a space. Lacuna is only this little bit of space around it, which would be a very unfair question. So on this one, all I see is the sites. Okay, try this one. Central canal, reversing canal. Very good. Too easy, drill sergeant. All right, let's try another one. I could ask you what they are, but if I just had a pointer there, you give me either cell or lacuna, because lacuna, the cell takes up the entire lacuna. So you can't discern the space from the cell if they're alive. All right, let's try this one. This is we don't have a model of this one, this is the one we only have a slide of, which should be clicking that this is not a bone. That's hyaline cartilage, lacuna with big space, so cartilage becomes bone in you. So we're seeing a bone develop. So the bone is building to the right. So the cartilage starts as cartilage, it starts to stack up, it begins to die, and then it becomes bone by magic over here. So you have hyaline cartilage here, bone off screen to my right, and the stages of cartilage becoming a bone here. We'll learn this in lecture after exam. This is called osteogenesis or osteocreation. You're taking cartilage and converting it to bone. So if you see this slide, cartilage is the beginning, bone is the end. Just draw linearly across, right? So if you look, I'm going to put the thing back up here for you.
So is the bone constantly being like?
So if you see the arrows up there, all right, those are the different regions. I lost in this one, darn it. I'm trying to make it bigger. All right, so if you kind of read here, so this is regular cartilage just at rest. It's being cartilage. Cartilage is kind of a boring job. What's it mean to proliferate? Nuclear proliferation. Spreading. So the cartilage begins to, quote, spread. They make these little lines. They're growing or spreading. So each little cell is now making more. So that's why you see this kind of look. Then it says hypertrophic zone. Hypertrophy means, hyper means above or more. So trophy means more growth or more eating. So get fat. That in English means fatter. So I make a bunch of cells proliferative. The cells get really, really fat. Hypertrophy. They grow bigger. And then they ossify. Os means osteon, osteocyte, bone. I'm boning in this context. I make a bone. So my cartilage is at rest. My cartilage proliferates. My cartilage hypertrophies. And then my cartilage becomes bone. So there's 4 stages, but you always start with the cartilage. The normal cartilage is where you begin, and take your eye the other way. The lines go to the bone. So you just follow your line. Bone is as I get bigger cells. So we have no model of this. You have to look up slides of this. Makes sense? But that's called the epiphyseal growth plate, or where you form bone, or ossification center. There's a lot of words. Makes sense? So I'm gonna make it bigger again. That is the line. The line would be from here to here. Where the cartilage is in the bone is the line. So this is actually probably more of a plate, but it's anywhere cartilage is within the bone. So you have actually bone over here too.
So you wouldn't be like points of line, you'd be like maybe.
That is, yeah, the whole thing is the line. Now on the bone, that like you can see at KFC, you can see the line with your eye because this looks different than the bone. But in terms of this slide, that's all one line across there. It's just.
So is that hyaline cartilage and then elastic?
Nope, it's still
cartilage?
hyaline all the way across. Doesn't change. It just becomes bone cells instead of cartilage. So you stay hyaline, you just become, the hyaline dies and replaces itself with bone. But still hyaline all the way through. Yeah, smooth background, lacuna. They just look different and then they eventually kill themselves. You go there.
So where in the body would this be at? Like, is our bone
Growth
constantly
plates, right?
growing?
Yeah, so this is when you're making your bones longer, so when you're a kid.
Oh,
so
so-
this is your growth plate.
Oh, okay. So this, like, we don't do it anymore. Like, as adults?
You don't do this. You still make bone every day, but you don't make it in one spot. This is how your bones get longer.
Oh.
So your doctor measures your growth plate as a kid. They're measuring that. How much bone can you form on the end of your bone is your height, but you can still make bones thicker, but you don't do it this way. Yeah, big thicker. Hopefully, make them thicker every day. Unless you're past age 30, then you can. So if you're under 30, we'll learn that in lecture. You can make your bones really thick. After 30, not so much. I'm on my way down. Life is a march to the grave. Right? So you guys just know this is where you're going to make bone form from the cartilage you have. I think that's everything on your osteon list. If I remember right.
What is the resting zone? Oh, is that what you just went through?
Yep.
Oh.
That's that. That was the cartilage forming of the epiphyseal plate, epiphyseal cartilage. That's what stuff down.
So what's the resting zone?
All right, so that's basically a quick whirlwind through ways to get through the models, hopefully through the slides. And this is just to help you. Remember, you're being quizzed on stickers on your stuff and your slides, so use the rest of your time as wisely or poorly as you choose. Thank you all for shopping
Yes.
here.
I messed that.
Clarify. So the resting zone is just the very outside where the halogen or
Normal hyaline cartilage.
hyaline cartilage,
'Cause it's
and
resting.
then proliferate is like when you start seeing it building.